Have you ever heard of exorcism? Well, it's a stylized ritual in which the rabbi or the priest try to drive out this so-called invading spirit. It's been pretty much discarded these days, except by the Catholics who keep it in the closet as a sort of an embarrassment. But it has worked, in fact, although not for the reasons they think. Of course, it's purely a force of suggestion. The victim's belief in possession is what helped cause it. So in that same way, the belief in the power of exorcism can make it disappear.
You're telling me that I should take my daughter to a witch doctor?
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheap Seat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheap Seat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good. Excuse me. And this is episode 134. This is the beginning of the Halloween movie series that we've done for this is our third time, I think. So we are doing, did I say? I don't know. We're doing The Exorcist. That's what we're doing. You voted. You, the listener, voted. The one listener voted. And we have collected all of the votes and watched all of the videotapes. And we have come to the conclusion that we're going to do The Exorcist. So first, and other movies will come, and I will divulge that information at the end of the episode. Episode 134, in case I didn't say it. I am Shawn Allred, and joining me tonight is Andrew, the power of Christ compels you, Jemison.
Hey, guys.
That is
nice.
Awesome. Oh, my gosh. And it was also great that you picked that version, not the original.
Not Flow Rider.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Not just the fact. Yes, part of that you've picked the Pitch Perfect version, but also the fact that you picked the not the original one that it was even a cover of, the Flow Rider cover of.
Yeah, Dead or Alive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Cornelius, never eating split pea soup again. Logan.
Eat me. The pea soup,
Yeah. And unfortunately, Sam hasn't joined us yet tonight. So, whenever you have these kind of scary movies, especially ones that kind of deal with demon possessions and things like that, the occult, there's always this really weird trivia that goes along with it. Like when they were filming Poltergeist, while flying, the plane was struck by lightning like 7 times in air, and just little things like that. We were minutes away from hitting record, and Sam lost power to his entire neighborhood. So we are, so we are hoping that Sam is. We know he's all right, but we're hoping that at some point he'll be able to join us. Also, there's a weird little clicky noise that's floating around in the system. I don't know what the hell it is. So, again, ghost in the system. We're just
in the system.
We're just gonna hang in there and do the best we can. There we go. All right. So this is This is 1973's The Exorcist, starring a bunch of people who I know. I just forgot their names because they're not in front of me. Ellen Burstyn, Max von Sydow. Of course, can't forget him. And who else?
Joe
Jason
Pesci.
Miller. Joe Pesci is not in this. He would have made it better. He would have made it better.
He was the demon.
Oh, he was the voice of the demon. Father Karras was Jason Miller, and Linda Blair is Reagan, and a bunch of other people that you don't know. So, before we kind of do our typical intros and things like that, hopefully Andrew has some words to say about it.
Yes, I do. When a teenage girl is possessed by a mysterious entity,
The devil.
yeah, that one. Her mother seeks the help of 2 priests to save her daughter.
Well, about the only time there'll ever be like actual show prep on this on this show when we actually talk about what we're gonna do. Yeah, so it's a possession movie. It's the possession movie, right? It's kind of one of the first, right? I mean, I think
Yeah.
maybe Rosemary's Baby is in there too, but yeah, this movie. So had anyone seen it before?
I have not.
No, I had never seen it.
Oh, neat. So we were all of us virgins. Virgins? That's not the word. Virgins.
That word, I don't think you know what that word.
I don't think you know what that word means.
You keep saying that word.
Yeah, clearly I don't. We were all of us new to this movie, so that'll be interesting. I don't know. I can't remember if Sam had seen it or not.
I feel like he has. Like, I feel like he goes to sleep to this movie, you know?
This movie puts him to sleep at night.
I think he went to the premiere.
19. Yeah, there's an old joke.
When he was in the high school, you know,
Yeah, when he was in high school. Yeah.
getting ready to graduate.
So there's a lot of great trivia about this movie, which I'm really excited to get into. But I'm really interested to kind of hear what we all kind of think about it, because people have strong opinions about this movie. There's a lot of movies out there that kind of exist that people have like super strong opinions about. And I kind of feel like this is one of them, because when I told other people that I had never seen this before, they looked at me and with horror, just like a lot of the mother did at her daughter in this movie. Like, I can't believe you've not seen this. And it's like, well, I don't really do horror films very much, you know. So I just don't. So anyway, Andrew, kind of your initial thoughts, sir.
Well, this is certainly a movie that I will not soon forget, because not only do I not watch horror movies that often, this one, and well, let me go back a second. The horror movies I've seen have never bothered me in any kind of way whatsoever, but this one bothered me a little bit, and not bothered me in the sense of, oh, I don't agree with this, or oh, this is kind of really, really evil, like I've heard some people say. It bothers me in the fact of there are some really disturbing scenes in this movie, and to do those scenes with a 12, well, I guess she might have been a 14 or 15-year-old actress, but with a young female, some of the scenes in there, I was like, oh my gosh. In 1973, they allowed this kind of stuff to happen.
It was a different time.
Well,
It was.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, wait. That was
Holy
weird.
crap.
That was scary as hell.
Speaking of,
Jesus. I clicked Chad. I literally clicked Chad to do,
It was a different time.
and all of a sudden Sam screams in. Holy cow. Welcome back, dude.
Some guys, sorry about that. Power is still out at the house. I'm now sitting in the church parking lot.
Oh, neat.
I'm pulling a corny.
Nice. So what are
Hey,
you,
man.
Yeah.
so wait, are you on your laptop with your, what are you using?
I'm using my phone
Oh,
with the
With the
Apple.
earbuds.
Does it sound okay?
You actually
Yeah.
don't sound that bad.
Okay.
You're a little hot,
hot.
but otherwise you sound pretty good.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I don't know if I can control my audio on this.
I don't know. We're going to do this on the fly here, so I'm going to turn you
Okay.
down, and Andrew and Corny just give me a little bit more, and I think we'll be all right.
Not sure how long the battery will last, but I am here.
Well,
Sorry
put-
about that, guys.
Oh, you don't have a charger for your car?
I forgot it at the house.
All right. Well. Okay. Well, we were
But
just.
if I have to drive back, I'll drive back.
Well, okay. Well, worst things can have happened. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we were just doing
So-
kind of our intros. The only thing I needed to ask of you, Sam, is have you seen this before? We, of course,
Yes, I
made
have.
the joke at your expense. You were there at the premiere in high school. It was 1973, by the way, in case you're. You know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you
That
had
was a
seen
glimmer
it
in the eyes of my parents. But I had seen this, yes.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, so Andrew was telling us that he was super disturbed, by the movie, and then Sam screamed in our ears, and we all peed ourselves.
Yeah, because I'm disturbed.
I didn't know I could just join in on a conversation on Skype. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm not sure why either. Actually, maybe because I tried calling you earlier. No,
probably since I was already a member.
Yeah, you were already part of
when the power came off.
Yeah, you were already part of the conversation. So Skype remembered that. Weird. All right, whatever. So Andrew, were you? Oh crap! I just unplugged stuff. Shoot. Sorry.
There goes Corny.
No, that was me. Corny? Andrew, were you done?
Well, no, I was just going to say that I thought the movie was done well, and I enjoyed. I mean, aside from the fact it was disturbing, I thought it was a good movie, and there were a few things here and there that just a few. I don't know if it were just when this movie was made, they didn't think about some of the issues, so they kind of let some little things go, but they were noticeable in the film, but not terribly. But overall, I think it's a great horror movie.
Okay, cool. Corny.
Yeah, I legitimately hate horror movies. So imagine my surprise when I knew we had to do this. It's really tough to have watched it just because I really didn't want to. But at the same time, it is one of those classic movies that I feel like you have to watch at least once. And the pure evil that they let Linda Blair do was impressive. It really, I guess, the point is to make you feel bothered. I did a great job, and I think it's one of those things that I thoroughly appreciate, feeling very, very out of sorts about this movie. I thought it was very interesting, the kind of anti-hero priest. I guess that's the term I'm going to use. But
I'd call him that.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do it, but he has to. And then the movie did not. Oh, here's one of the things about this movie that I think I enjoyed. So this movie's been around for much longer than we've been alive, except for you, Sam. And but for everything that I've always heard about this movie, it didn't go the way that I thought it would. Like I thought, spoiler alert, the young priest. I thought he was going to be the battle. He's going to be the.
All I can think of, Corny, I know you're getting ready to make a really serious point, but all I can think of right now is freaking Happy Billy Madison.
An old priest and a young priest.
I need a young priest and an older priest and some ice cubes. Sorry, it's all I can think of. Anyway, all right, please, sorry.
As they were standing in the room, and I was like, "It's the old priest and young priest." I finally saw it.
Right.
But no, it was so weird. I guess the point I was going to try to make was, I really thought the young priest was going to do most of the stuff, but it turns out he was just kind of hanging around. It was the old dude that kind of did most of the stuff. I mean, they both did. Yeah, they did. But
they did.
But anyway, I don't know how I feel about this movie. Maybe this podcast will help me change my thought process. But I don't know. I think it's something that you definitely have to see, regardless of the violence and the, we'll just go with violence.
Okay. And language, yeah.
Yeah, definitely language.
Sam.
Not the worst language ever.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like a
we've heard it all.
Scorsese film or a Tarantino film, but.
Yeah. It just generally doesn't come out of a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
In that way, yeah.
That's true. I don't know, man. I kind of work with high school students now, and every once in a while I work with middle school students. It's not too far off sometimes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh dear.
Go ahead, Sam.
Oh, it's my turn.
It
okay.
is.
Can you guys still hear me? Okay.
We can.
Okay. All right. I watched this. Goodness, it's been quite a while ago that I've seen this one, but I remember being completely and utterly freaked out at this movie. One of those where you kind of figure you have to leave a light on at night. After seeing this thing. I wasn't as freaked out this time, mainly because I kind of knew what was coming. But the great thing about not seeing a movie for a long, long time is that there was a lot of stuff I had forgotten. And a lot of stuff that I had forgotten was a lot of the stuff I actually love about this movie. I love the intro in Iraq or wherever they are, digging up some old stuff, finding the little demon idols and kind of introducing you to the Exorcist, the guy that's actually going to be doing the battle. Yeah, and there's so many iconic shots in this movie. I love it. It starts out with the human-sized demon statue on the left side and the Exorcist on the right, and it's just the whole movie was this setup, and I really enjoyed the pacing that it took to get to those final 20 minutes of craziness in the bedroom. And
oh yeah. Wrong movie.
Yeah, we watched Nymphomaniac, right?
Yeah, remember she's 12,
okay.
so
Oh, yeah, that's true. But I'm confused at some plot points, and maybe we'll talk about some of those in the future. But I really like the slow build-up. How this girl just got worse and worse and worse, and I love the juxtaposition of science versus religion, and the idea of even when they gave her the idea of doing an exorcism, it had a science background. Do it because she might believe it'll work. But these I don't know. There's something about the spiritual world and the crazy things that can happen in that world that just kind of freak me out. And this movie did real well doing that to me again. Just maybe not as much as the first time. Although it could have had. I actually, believe it or not, folks, Kimberly watched this movie with me.
Yeah.
Well,
until the final 10 minutes.
Okay, that makes sense.
And she couldn't. She left the room.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
So I was very, it was kind of nice actually, but it was a little too much for her temperament. So, which is 1973. It just blows my mind that that some of the stuff this girl was saying and doing were outrageous.
They were definitely pushing boundaries.
Ooh, easy.
Yep, Richard.
Yeah, do I need a rooster tell that one? Yeah.
So, Shawn, I'd like to hear what you have to say. You're kind of a movie geek. What do you think about this one?
Okay, so I'm with Corny. I don't really do horror films.
Yep.
I've probably seen more horror films for this podcast than on my own. I just don't watch them. My own little joke behind it is that real life is scary enough as it is. I don't want to be scared voluntarily. And again, I'm sorry I know you three can't hear it, but there's this weird clicking noise, and I'm to the listeners, I apologize. I don't know what it is.
Is it in the attic?
Okay, that was confusing. So
okay. Those are rats. Somebody.
That's a monster rat up there. Oh my God! Yeah.
Well, so there's so much of the movie that it was really actually confusing to me, as the viewer. Again, I only watched it the one time. So the three of us watched it for the first time for this viewing. Sam, you've seen it before, but it's just the one time. So
yeah.
You enjoyed the long open. I was kind of bored because, frankly, if you're gonna show me the standoff between the statue, which represents the demon that is this supposed to be, versus the Exorcist, then give me that, and not 20 minutes of him walking through the streets of Iraq. I kind of got bored with that.
And that's do we want to argue yet, or should I?
I don't know. It's fine if you want to, but I guess I was bored watching him just walk places, like
Randy Newman or something.
Like what's with the pills, and why does he?
I was wondering about that as well. I thought maybe, because I'd forgotten so much. I thought maybe he had somehow been possessed. Then was going to bring that back to the States. I couldn't remember how the girl got the demon.
Well, so my first thought was that it was he was sort of responsible because they unearthed something that jarred some demon loose, whatever, fine. And somehow it made its way to Georgetown because of an artifact that she bought at a bazaar. Like, he held that little thingy up, right? And then like, somehow it says, 2 weeks later, and that thingy is on her mantle because she bought it at the local fair or something, right? And then that's how it got into her. It just randomly picked her, which is, again, fine. I don't necessarily need an explanation, whatever. But why? Like, were there rats in the roof? Like, are we to assume that was the demon in physical form making weird noises? Is that what's happening, or is it?
Here's what I got from all of that, and I think it's involved in the slow buildup, because even the walk through the streets was meant to get you on edge, to show you things you aren't used to put you in a world that's just a little bit different than yours and make you uneasy.
Well, yeah, but I've seen that. I saw it in Lawrence of Arabia.
The scratching in the attic is something that people with old houses kind of get used to with animals up there, whether it's a raccoon or a squirrel or rats. Those types of old houses have problems with this stuff like that. So, and not to mention it led up to the jump scare.
Right, but that's my point, is that if you're just leading to a jump scare, then give me a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was confused. I was like, wait a minute, I thought that the demon could only possess on our plane. They can't come to our plane. Again, what demonology I know, I mostly know from Constantine, but I just was confused.
Get a mirror. Get a mirror.
Right. So that's what I was. Yeah, they should have done that. You find a cat. It was actually funny while watching the movie. My cat came in and actually sat in my lap for a good portion of the movie. And at one point, she just looked up at me, and I just kind of looked at her, and I was like, half in, half out. Okay. And I was actually good with her. What actually scared me, there was actually kind of a funny moment with a jump scare of my own when she first kind of was like, I don't feel well, my bed's rattling or something like that. My wife opens the door to the laundry room, which is just outside my little office here. And that actually gave me more of a jump scare than anything in the movie, because it's a loud noise. So none of the jump scares really got me. I mean, not really. And not because the movie isn't good. I think the movie is fantastic. I really do. And it was deserving of its Oscar nom for Best Picture. Some of the things just didn't work on me personally. And again, I was kind of bored with the intro. And I was confused at some other things. For a woman who wasn't religious, she sure said Jesus Christ and GD a lot. And for Christ's sake, she said that a lot for someone who wasn't religious.
To the preacher.
So she's from Jersey, right? That's pretty much how that works.
Like who knows?
She's from LA too, I think.
I don't know.
But to the face of the preacher, I'm like, oh Lord. You don't do that.
Well, and those were the most drinkingest preachers or priests I have ever seen. My God.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I actually hang out with Lutherans on a regular basis. That seems good.
Yep. Us Lutherans like to drink.
Like, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that drinking's a sin. Jesus had wine and threw some good parties. Fine. But shit. Like, he stole like alcohol from a party and was getting like legit shit-faced. So, whatever.
Solomon did that.
Well, and not to mention, I mean, I don't know if this started the trope, but the pastor who's losing his religion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, that's
so.
Thank you, REM. That's a trope, and that's fine. A lot of the character development in the movie was actually really good. I was just introduced to a lot of characters that I didn't care about. That's what. Can I intersect real quick?
No, please.
The Exorcist, the person doing the exorcism. I want to know more about him.
Yeah.
All we got was that he has some sort of sickness that he has to take these tiny little pills.
Yeah, he has to take Altoids for. Yeah.
Yeah, he digs up stuff in the desert. And
he's actually done an exorcism before.
Yeah, and he's done it before, but you don't get any other background or other than he's the wise old man possibly that can do this.
Here's the weird...
And he's on screen for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, literally. Here's the weird part about that. And this is just I'm not sure why they did it. Maybe because of the book says this, but Max von Sydow, when he filmed this, was 44 years old. Why did they need him? Like, why did they need to make him 80?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
44? Seriously?
Yeah, he's only 44 when he made this.
I wouldn't have put him less than 60s.
Yeah, look at him now, and that's what he looks like in that movie then in makeup. Like when you see him in...
I will say they did a good job with the makeup.
Oh, he looks fantastic. He looked like, again,
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Again, Sam thought he was in his 60s. I mean, in that movie...
I legitimately thought that was him. I did not
that was all makeup and liver spots that were all drawn on. So why? I mean, I guess if you need to have your old man, then I guess hire an old man. But whatever, that's an irrelevant point. He was great at the part. I wanted more of him personally.
Yeah.
Because he had some good lines. You know, I captured one of them, other than him screaming the power of Christ part. But like, he had some good dialogue. I kind of didn't really care much about Philadelphia preacher or priest. I'm not sure he's from Philadelphia. He just acted like he was from Philadelphia.
Which one is he? The boxer?
Yeah.
Rocky.
Yeah, because he's got the Rocky thing happening. You know, like that's why I just assumed he's Philadelphian. That douchebag cop.
With the weird eye?
Yeah, so he had a weird eye. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, he's got a strange, like one eye is bigger than the other.
They called him Weird Eye Yankovic.
Beat me to it.
Nice.
Not remembering a whole lot, I thought he was the one that was going to get pushed down the stairs.
So would he be our hopping man for this movie? Because...
Well, no, because he's there at the very end.
Yeah, but nothing happens. There's no resolution. He comes into the room and then takes a look, and then so does he? Do they charge young preacher? We keep calling him preacher. They're priests. Does he charge young priest with the murder of the director and then a murder of Van Sydow and then a suicide? Like, are they pinning? Because he wanted to pin it on him anyway, because he thought it was him. So does that guy now go down in his town is now known as a double murder suicide? Or
they certainly let the family go pretty quickly. If this is a real cop, that's not going to happen.
Right. And then like I was confused. Like, wait a minute, what is happening here? Like, if you're going to introduce this character to basically add drama on a third level, right? It's already bad enough we've got a possessed daughter upstairs, and the mom is slowly kind of losing her mind as a result of this. Now we have to add extra stress onto her because of a cop, which I think is good filmmaking, because we as the viewer can feel that stress. Now we're dealing with the supernatural, and here comes a law-abiding cop who has no clue what's happening. He can only go by what the law says, and
I am the law.
Right, and then. But then nothing happens. But then, like, he just shows up at the end, and then that's it. So I was confused. Like, wait, what happened with him? Did anything happen or nothing? So, again, hopping man, whatever, it's fine. What else was driving? A couple of things kind of bothered me though about the movie. Like, that kind of bothered me. Why did the director have to be a complete asshole? Like, I kind of didn't care.
French, or what was he?
Was he French?
Was he French?
I don't know. He had a weird accent, and he was drunk all the time or high, and I couldn't understand what he said sometimes. And
I did figure out something I didn't catch the first time around with the director.
Yeah,
he's the one that dies falling downstairs the first time.
Yeah,
where his head is completely turned around, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now I understand that he was in the room and was thrown out because the curtains and the windows were blown out.
Yeah.
So somehow he was in the room with the girl, which is even creepier if you think about it.
Yeah,
that came across my mind for a couple seconds. And I was like,
well, there's actually some stuff in the trivia about that. I didn't capture it because it was super creepy, but basically I can't remember if it's in the novel or if there was a version of the script that the reason why he was up there is because he was doing inappropriate things with the girl.
Oh dear!
And which triggered the demon to come alive twist his head all the way around and chuck him down the street. So
Yeah.
so I don't know if, but regardless, he was in the room and she did that, and it took me a while to figure out that was what had happened. But eventually we got there, which is again fine. I'm okay with them not spoon feeding that to us. I'm glad that it took us. We had to figure that out.
They're making it. They're considering the audience smart.
Yeah, which is.
And I always appreciate that in a movie. They don't.
Yeah, you don't need to
mansplain it to us all the time.
Yeah,
and that might have been something that in 1973 would have been way
too
over
much.
the top. And
yeah.
Even if they had not shown it on screen, but somehow we find out about it. I'm not sure how. Maybe the demon says it. The demon's like, oh, he came into the room and started messing with her, and I didn't like it, so whatever. Or I thought it was funny, but wanted to kill him, or whatever. Maybe you're right. Maybe possessing the girl, fine. Physically assaulting the girl with the mechanical thing that slapped her around the bed, fine. We'll ruin this person forever. But little rapey thingy happened, we're not going to do. I guess that's the line in this movie. So the things the physical things that happened in the movie were more jarring to me than what was supposedly the supernatural. Meaning, when I did my internship, my at the film company I worked for, one of the guys that was on set, one of the producers of the company, or the management of the company, he did his film internship under someone who worked on this movie, was there on set. So the stories that my buddy told me were firsthand stories from him. Like, you remember, not the opening scene, but one of the opening 5 or 6 minutes of the movie when the mom comes downstairs and the maid, I guess she's the maid, is cooking breakfast. The bacon kept curling up. So they halted production for 4 hours until they got the right kind of bacon that wouldn't curl.
Oh my gosh.
They
just wanted bacon.
Yeah.
That's all that was.
Yeah, just for the shot.
I'm okay with this, actually.
I would do the same thing. We have to get this bacon perfect.
Yeah, but it's not. But it was for just a shot where it's basically a throwaway shot. But whatever. The director was insane, by the way. Let's throw this out there. This director was bananas, right? So, another one that's really famous, and it was kind of corroborated in the trivia, where there's a scene where they needed a jump scare. She needed actually to jump scare the actor. So instead of saying, "All right, you're going to turn and be scared, jump scare," he actually aimed a gun at them and fired a gun with blanks.
Oh, good Lord.
To scare the actors. And the actors hated it. The actors hated this guy because he tortured them like that. Obviously, everybody knows the story about poor Linda Blair and her back when she was getting tossed around on that bed.
Not to mention the freezing temperatures.
Yeah, and she's in that little nightgown, and the poor girl about had hypothermia because it was so cold in that room because they pumped air-conditioned room conditioned, whatever you know what I'm trying to say.
Cold air.
Yeah, thank you. And then Ellen Burstyn, the mom, when demon daughter punches her in the face and she falls back, the harness, she was yanked back so hard when she landed on her back, it actually bruised her back. So when she screams, that's real pain she's in. That's not a reaction. That's ow, I'm hurt kind of a thing. So there was a lot of that kind of stuff happening on set, and it's like, my gosh, you could not do that nowadays, I mean, of course, you read a story like Ron Perlman hit a subway train at 44 miles an hour, but but at least he's an old man and can make his own decisions, What do you say, Courtney?
I said, because I'm the juggernaut.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I tell you, though, I really like the subliminal things they were showing in the movie.
That was creepy.
The face every now and then.
Yeah.
The, the dream sequence he had was super creepy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I'm getting the chills just thinking about it. Or it could be the AC in my house.
And I hate to say it this time around, the non-supernatural spooked me more than the supernatural.
Yeah.
The visit to the psychiatric ward.
Oh yeah.
Was.
Yeah.
It's icky.
And
and
super
then
uncomfortable.
The freaking neck, whatever they're doing, when they're drawing her blood or whatever they are in her neck.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, good God, I couldn't watch. I could not. I literally turned away. I could not watch.
So I'm going to go there for just a second because that's part of the trivia, but that's fine. So when this movie aired in theaters, people at that scene, Sam, at the drawing the neck, and they're putting the chemical in her brain so they can get a contrast when they take the. It's not an X-ray. It's like an MRI, but it's something. It's called something different. That super loud, terrifying torture machine that they put her in. That's the scene that most people had a problem with, and people were like passing out in the aisles. Like one guy actually passed out and fell and hit his face on the seat in front of him and actually like broke teeth, and he sued the Exorcist.
Jeez.
He sued the company, like Warner Brothers or whoever owned it. There was a lots of that kind of thing happening. People had a really physical reaction to this.
Well, what was before this? What was the big horror?
Rosemary's Baby.
Your crazy. Well, when was Rosemary's Baby?
60s, wasn't it? I thought.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, but there's also a bunch of remember Hitchcock is before this too. But there's nothing gross in most of his Hitchcock stuff. My gosh.
And you got to remember, our society was a lot more religious.
Yeah.
Back, in the 70s than we are now.
I guess maybe I don't know.
Percentage-wise, yeah.
Rosemary's 1968 was Rosemary's Baby.
Okay.
I mean, you got movies like other Hitchcock movies like The Birds and things like that were terrifying and whatever. So I get it, but we've also had movies where like people are having like weird reactions to. Was it like? I'm trying to remember. It was in Japan, and a movie aired, and it was like the Pokemon movie or something. But like there was so many colors and things. Like people were having seizures. So it just depends, on the movie and whatever. But yeah, that scene was gross. That scene made me super uncomfortable, especially that poor, like that machine. Like I kind of felt like, my gosh, what? Nothing can be worse than what the demon. Like the demon can't do anything worse than what that machine's putting her through.
Although I don't know, when you have to write "help me" on your belly from the inside.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Thank you, Adele. Medina Adele.
For me. Excuse me.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, there was another thing. So you didn't hear, Sam, because you weren't here. But the intro clip that I played is after the doctors have exhausted all of these medical things, right? And they're talking to
all the videotapes.
They've reviewed all the videotapes, and they're talking to the mom, and she's pissed, right? She's like, "Don't effing tell me this." Blah, 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 blah. She's just mad, right? And then they're like, "Well, do you believe in exorcisms?" And blah 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 blah. Here, and they explain an exorcism, and then she's like, "So what you're telling me is I have to take my daughter to a witch doctor?" At that point, I looked at my computer and was like, "F you, bitch! My gosh!" Like. All of these, you're in a room with probably the brightest doctors on the East Coast, right? You're probably at Johns Hopkins or somewhere near DC, right? And all of these doctors are saying that your daughter is physically normal, right? So we can see she's doing all this crazy stuff, right? Some doctors have witnessed this. The bed is floating, all this other stuff, right? We understand that. So here is an off-the-wall notion. And she like spits it back in their face, like, so I gotta go to a witch doctor? Did he say witch doctor? No. He said you need a priest. You need a young priest and an old priest. And some ice cubes and a 5-iron. No,
but he also gave the scientific reasoning behind it as well.
Sure. Yeah. And
he's making a reasonable we've done everything, lady.
Yeah.
Everything possible.
Yeah.
This is something. The power of suggestion works.
Compels you.
Yeah. The power of suggestion compels you. Yeah.
Hey, I think we got our title.
I was just pissed. I was grumpy at the mom. I'm like, okay. Here's another hopping man. The father. Why do we need to have a 10-minute tirade of her yelling at her dad over the phone, or actually not yelling at the dad, just yelling at the operator, trying to get a hold of the dad? There was never a payoff there.
Yeah, just conflict.
Like,
I mean, that's just make you feel uneasy.
Just like
same reason why every 10 seconds there was another weird loud noise.
Well, there was a lot of that. Shit. Like, like I kept turning down my headphones just because it would hurt my ears. Like the sound.
The dialogue is so soft, and then all of a sudden, God forbid, a door slams.
Or like the dogs like playing in the out in the desert. Right, like over, all right, we're gonna record this and then crank it to 11, and then we're gonna make it louder still, right? Because it kept gradually getting louder, and then just mixed in with other weird noises, and it just became a cacophony of awful. And
nice word.
Thank you. The movie is full of that. Which makes it scary.
Yeah. But here's the big question.
All right.
Why is this movie considered a classic, and how does it do those things right where other movies get it so wrong?
You want we can do round.
I don't know. Is that a rhetorical question?
I don't think it is. I think there's actual physical things that are happening in this movie that make it work. So Corny and I both worked at the local theme park here, and we worked during Scarowinds, which is the Halloween type time when they turn the park into scary fun time. And
which is what the fun I like to call Wednesday night, if you know what I mean.
Corny
just don't bring your 6-year-old daughter.
Right. Oh gosh, no. Corny, being of his size and stature, was usually wearing a harnessed monster kind of a thing, or was
like a big Pokemon.
Sort of.
Yeah, I was pretty much Snorlax actually.
Well, yeah. Yeah, kind of a big, hairy, scary one. But anyway, my point is that they also have within the park, they have these things that they call them mazes. They're not mazes. It's a path that you walk, but it's a building. It's a structure that you go in, and they have jump scares throughout the thing. But they have music. They have speakers in there that they crank music that is appropriate for whatever the theme is. Like there's one called Last with the clown. So there's a lot of that weird disjointed clown music. They've got one called Defects, which is like defective toys. So like you have a lot of like toy boxes and stuff, whatever. But my point is that it's super loud the entire time. Like you walk in there and it's like 102 dB constantly. And then you have these monsters like banging on stuff and jumping out at you. And so what doesn't make it scary is that you're at sensory overload, so you don't have a chance to process what's happening. What they do really well in this movie is they have the absence of sound a lot.
Yep.
You have a lot of these intense moments where there's no music, where it's just super muted and calm, and then bam, it hits you in the face. And not even as a jump scare, but just, whether it's her spitting up or she starts cursing at you or the whatever, right? So there's a lot of that, which I think makes it great in that part. I also think the other thing is the visuals, I think, hold up. Now, we all four of us watched the Netflix version, which is the theatrical version. I learned that in 2000-ish, 2001, whatever, 2003, when they re-released it for an anniversary, or something, I guess it would have been 2013 or 2003. They re-released it with a scene that they filmed with her like doing like a weird spider walk up the stairs, but you could see the wires in the movie, but they digitally removed the wires for the re-release, and like people think that that's one of the creepiest things they've ever seen on film. So I kind of wished we had seen that version, but we didn't. But anyway, but I, like the bed lifting. Yeah, obviously the bed is on some kind of gimbal in the wall. Fine, but it looked great.
Yep.
So
it's one of those physical effects that just does well. It does well. The makeup in this movie, was insane. Linda Blair's makeup, just amazing.
Yeah, it's really great. So. Movies, the new scary movies now rely, I think, too much on CGI.
Absolutely.
And there's a non-genuine quality to it, and therefore it's not like the last scary movie I saw that actually did kind of bother me was The Grudge. And that's just because in movies with children and pet and animals that are scary, like I have a problem with that, and I don't know why. And when the little boy like looked at you with the weird mouth and meowed like that, I was kind of done at that point with the movie. And it didn't help that I was living with our buddy Chris at the time, who in our apartment we had a two-story townhome. He had a black cat upstairs. So my then girlfriend, now wife, came home. And Sarah and I get ready to get in bed, and all of a sudden we hear his cat running around upstairs. I ran up there and I said, "You need to get that cat under control, or I'm gonna drown it in a bathtub, and we're gonna start the cycle all over again."
Oh dear Lord!
That's how the
Poor
movie
cat.
starts. Is that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The movie real quick. The movie The Grudge. This isn't a spoiler. The husband just had a psychotic break, I think, and he murdered his wife, his boy, and the boy's cat. And he drowned the boy
because F that cat.
Right, he drowned the boy and the cat in a bathtub, and then he ripped the jaw off of his wife.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. So like when you see her, like her tongue is hanging down on her chest. It's gross. It's a gross movie, but it's CGI, but it's still gross. It's got Sarah Michelle Gellar in it. It's based off the Japanese version of the same movie, but
Yeah.
we have to make it American because America. And The Ring also came out like right before that.
Yeah, The Ring is yeah.
The Ring, I think a lot of people had issues with The Ring. I was kind of freaked out with The Ring until she came out of the TV, and then by literally breaking the fourth wall, I was actually kind of like, okay, that's kind of dumb. But like the horse, when the horse freaked out, like that kind of freaked me out a little bit. But anyway, so fine.
Lots of boom under said horse.
Yeah.
Lots of boom.
But I like the physical effects that look real. Just look real. CGI. I love my CGI. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Jurassic Park fan, of course.
When it's done well.
Huh.
It's done well. Yeah.
corny.
And in horror movies, you can do it on the cheap.
Yeah.
You could, blood is not that hard.
Well, yeah. I mean,
come across, Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I was just going to say some of the best horror films are not done with CGI.
oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Done with very little.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons. So again, the same buddy of mine. I'd actually like to get him on the show one time. On this show, if he's done several movies, and if any of his movies ever get on streaming, I would love to do them and then have him on to talk about it.
Absolutely, that'd be awesome.
But he and my mentor from that company.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
No, she was not my mentor.
Oh, okay.
No,
Sarah Silverman.
Eric Holloway was my mentor. He was a good man. Anyway, so the two of them founded a company together to only produce horror films, because horror films are super cheap to make.
Yeah.
Because really good ones like Blair Witch, that was like $9,000 budget. You know what I'm saying? And like Paranormal Activity is like, seriously, they're like $3 million budgets. I mean, most of it is on actors and craft services.
Yeah.
So you can make really good horror films on a super low budget. So if they're done well, the one that my buddy did is a movie called Death Foretold. It's 4 little vignettes all tied together. And there's some cheesy points, and there's like a couple puppetry things happening. But there's some really kind of cool moments in it. And the only thing that I helped him with on is he did a director's commentary for the movie, and I was the recordist for the director's commentary. And I was like, so am I going to get a credit? He's like, no, the movie's already made, dude. Sorry. I'm like, that's fine. Anyway, so when I got done recording it, then I had to spend the next 10 or 15 minutes alone in the studio watching this thing, making sure that it's synced up the whole time, and then, fix any flubs with other takes and stuff that he did. And I kind of got freaked out a little bit because I'm in this recording studio at like 8 o'clock at night by myself. I'm like, it's time for me to get out of here.
Yeah. How did you guys watch this movie, by the way? What?
Carefully in the daytime.
I mean, is this the type of movie that gets an added bonus from a dark, stormy night?
Yeah, I did watch it at night and pretty late at night, and everybody else
You a
in the
damn
house was
fool.
asleep. But it's just when I had the chance to do it, and
Yeah.
luckily it wasn't stormy or rainy or anything. That
Yeah.
would have made it worse.
Yeah, I watched it last night as well. I started this movie at about 11 o'clock at night, and because Sam suggested it. You said
Yep.
watch it at night, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go for the full experience,
Full effect. Yeah.
I'm gonna to dive in this thing head first, and so I was in my. The only thing I didn't do is normally I would watch it with my speakers on, but I didn't know with the language and the jump scares. I didn't know if it would bother anyone else in the house, so I put on my nice headphones. But
I imagine so.
yeah, so you want to hear something super weird and creepy though?
Sure.
Yes, of course you do.
As long as it bothered you.
Sure as hell did. So, I start watching the movie. Right, wait, hold on. I gotta make sure. When did I watch this? Today's Wednesday. I watched it Monday night.
Monday night. Okay.
Yeah, Monday night. Because I thought we were gonna record last night. Anyway, so
Yeah, sorry about that.
no worries. So last night I put my son to bed, and then he walks out of his bed at about 20 minutes later. Gets out of bed, and I'm like,
Starts floating.
no. And I'm like, hey, buddy, what? He comes into our bedroom. My wife and I are packing up. I'm like, what's going on, buddy? He said, I couldn't sleep. I said, what's going on? And this is what he literally says. The statue woke me up.
Oh.
Seriously, this is no
that happened to
bullshit.
Parker one time.
I'm 100%. And I looked at him and I said, what did you say? And he said, at the neighbor's house, the statue woke me up. And I said, okay, it's time to get back in bed. So I got him back in bed and put him to sleep. And then the next morning, I said, did you sleep well? And he said, yeah, except for, and then he corrected himself and said, the spatula woke me up. And I said, the spatula? And he said, yeah, the neighbor was making burgers and it woke me up. So I have no idea what he's talking about, but I had chills when he said the statue. And
Here's the thing, Shawn. I was afraid you were going to do the thing that most Caucasian parents do in movies like this, where the child says something completely terrifying, and the first response is, "No, I'll go to bed. It'll be fine."
yeah,
Now, see, in my household, when Parker did that when he was little, hey, this thing scared me. I said, "Really? What you staying here tonight?" I immediately said, "You're going to be in here, so if I'm going down, everyone's going with me."
well,
Every
so it's funny you said that because I tried. So about a year and a half ago, we were at our Sarah's brother's house, and Declan started crying, and I mean crying, while we were in the living room, watching TV or chatting. So I walked back in there and I said, "What's going on?" He said, "The ghost woke me up."
Oh, dear Lord.
time
So-
to go, time to get your stuff. Go.
So instead of doing the typical movie thing where I'm like, that's not real, ghosts aren't real, blah, blah, I'm like, okay, well, you're two, and sometimes 2-year-olds see things that we don't. And,
Half in, half out.
well, and frankly, and people might listen to this show and might think I'm off my rocker. I've seen shit, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. I have seen stuff.
Shawn used to be black.
Yeah, I've seen stuff that will scare you white. It changed my skin, my hair color, and my voice.
Awesome.
So I was like, you know what?
Oh.
We're just gonna go with this and see what happens. So I started asking him questions about the ghost. And what does he do? And we talked about it for a little while, and then I kind of realized that it was just this imaginary thing that he was making up because he kept changing details. And he's like, "Oh, the ghost is hungry." I'm like, "Well, then we should tell the ghost to go to the kitchen because that's where the food is." And then he would. So eventually and then when the ghost followed us back home, that's when I was like, "Okay, this isn't real because they don't do that." So they usually stay in one place. Unless he hopped on my car. I don't know. That's a 2.5 hour drive away. But anyway, so my point is that, to your point, corny, I didn't do that thing because, frankly, I was kind of nervous to. You know, like I thought maybe we should have a conversation with it, and maybe let's say it's real. And who are you people listening? And you guys, who are you saying it's not real? I you know what I'm saying? So what if it's real? So maybe we have a nice, healthy conversation with the ghost. Let me tell you this story real quick. Corny, you've heard this story. I worked with a guy at Carowinds who also believed, and he did an install at the Grand Old Opry.
Hello? Yeah, something just kicked it.
You guys good?
At the Grand Old Opry?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. Everybody good?
Okay,
Yeah,
now you're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
You hurt with a gut, and that was it.
Yeah, at the Grand Old Opry. He was doing an install at the Grand Old Opry, and the house manager was like, hey, the Opry is haunted, just accept it. And so my buddy Chuck was like, okay, I'm good with that. And they said, what should we do about it? He was like, when you go down to get your equipment down in the basement, you just introduce yourself to the ghost. They'll leave you alone. So Chuck's like, all right. Well, the guy that was working with Chuck, who they brought in, Chuck didn't know him, was like, F that, F ghost. I don't believe in that stuff. So Chuck goes downstairs and said, hey, my name's Chuck, here to do an install. Going to put some new speakers in. Going to make it sound great. It's going to be a good time. Other guy was like, F you, whatever. The next day, that guy fell off a catwalk and broke his arm.
Oh, my gosh.
So ever since Chuck told me that story, again, Corny, you and I both worked at that Carowinds Theater, right? Mm-hmm. That theater is haunted by a young girl. Meredith saw her, and some other people that I know have saw her, and I have seen her. Well, I've seen her.
You know, I think I pushed that out of my mind. That's why I continue to work there. But thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I didn't see her. I saw her like reactions, not reactions. Like I saw doors open and shut that shouldn't have, kind of things like that, right? So
when your cat.
Especially when my cat actually walks in the door here, that freaks me out. So I would always introduce myself. Hey, my name's Shawn. I'm gonna be your manager for the building. And I did that at Carowinds, and I did it at the theater at the university at UNC Charlotte. And for you listeners who care, I'm got a new job at Clemson University, and when I go to the theater in that building that I'll be managing, I will do the same thing because why not? Anyway, enough about that stuff. I know most listeners now at this point are just like, shut up. That's not real. I will say this, Corny, to your joke about white people doing dumb things in movies.
No. Well, yeah, I did.
Do what?
Well, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. How about this? Would any one of us ever hear a weird noise in the attic, turn on the light, see that the light doesn't come on, and go anyway? No, you wouldn't. In fact,
especially if it's a giant rat.
Yeah.
No, never mind a ghost, but a freaking, squirrel in the attic. Yeah. I'm not up there without a flashlight and a baseball bat.
Right. Yes. Some kind of, not a lamp, not an open flame lamp that like you could drop and light your house on fire with.
Well, and it exploded right there at the jump scare.
Yeah. In fact, I told that to my wife. I asked her that very question, and she said, hell no. In fact, you know what I'm doing? I'm building a tower of boxes and chairs that keep the attic from coming down.
You can't bring it down.
Yeah.
Get the boards out. Let's get the nails.
Yeah. She's like, yeah.
No more.
Yeah, that stuff that's up there, gone forever. We'll buy more.
Wiring's going to have to come up through the basement.
Yeah. Christmas decorations. Yeah, that's all gone.
This ish ain't happening.
Yeah. All your college stuff, Shawn. You're just gonna have to have those memories in your brain because the stuff's gone. So that stuff that drove me. That's just whatever. What's happening? Okay. What? Captain Howdy. That was actually kind of super creepy.
Yes. Although that did come with my first eye roll of the movie with the Ouija board.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm not a big fan of. I don't know. It's just
that got to my.
It's a little over the top with Ouija boards. I think
that was my first trope. Actually, investigating in the dark was my first trope. My second one was Ouija boards are evil. Now, do we think that this movie is the reason why we think Ouija boards summoned the demons and things?
I don't know.
Because
I don't think so. I think it probably was a thing before this, and that's why they put it in the movie.
Yeah. I don't know. I played with one when I was a kid with a buddy of mine, and he freaked me the hell out with it, and then I got kind of freaked out by it, and I never touched it again. It wasn't mine; it was his.
I had the same thing when we asked, what spirit was watching us. It did the initials EHV, which is my father's initials.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, nope, done.
Yeah.
Done. Nope, not gonna play.
Well, it's funny because they say the reason why it works is that it's your subconscious, right? You're subconsciously moving it, right? So when my buddy and I did it, he was like, "You want to watch something really freaky?" So we pulled it out, right? And he's like, "All you need is sorry, damn it,
sorry."
He said, "All you need are 2 fingers." I'm like, "All right," and he says, "Watch this." So he puts his 2 fingers. Jeez, this is getting weird, guys. All right.
I'm bored.
Sorry, keep going.
As Andrew would say. There we go.
Sorry, I just figured that music was going on too.
So anyway, he like the little triangle-y thing that your pointer. He was like drumming his fingers on it, like, so it wasn't like it was constant pressure. He was drumming his fingers, and I was doing the same thing. We were kind of proving to each other that we weren't doing it, and the thing damn moved. So he asked the question, "When will Shawn die?" And it started going to a number, and I was like, "That man, I'm not doing that." And I slapped the thing away. And he's like, "You don't want to know?" I'm like, even at the age of 12, I knew better than to ask that question. So I wanted no part of it after that. Do you guys have...
It just starts to spell out Sam Vector, actually.
That would have been great.
By the way, the Ouija boards was in a movie in 1920.
Wow.
Was the very first instance of Ouija boards in a movie.
Like, you gotta wonder if, like, the people that manufactured them, like, are they freaked out, like, all the damn time?
Well, one would think I would think it'd be kind of like Willy Wonka's factory.
Yeah.
Because the boards would just kind of make themselves.
No, yeah, okay. Sorry, that noise is just killing me. I'm sorry, listeners. Hopefully it will be gone next week. I know you guys can't hear it, but it's painful. Weird racist drunk director died. Are they alluding that the demon? Yes, we did. We already talked about that. Douche cop. Yeah. Oh wait. So that cop. Okay. With the Weird Eye Yankovic. He threatens jail time if he doesn't tell about his patients, which I guess in 1973, doctor-patient confidentiality wasn't a thing, right?
Well, I thought that was from the beginning. That should be. Anyway, okay, keep going.
Yeah, so he threatens him with the jail, right? And he's like, "Are you threatening me?" He's like, "Oh no, just talking about it," right? I don't know why he turned that weird accent, but then he says, "I'll deport you." I'm like, "Holy crap, dude! Like, is this how you get your information, by threatening to deport people and stuff?" He should have been like, "I'm from Philly, can't you tell by my sweats?"
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Yeah, the playground he spent.
A lot of exercise most of his days.
Yeah, laughing and anyway. Sorry. I really actually wrote, "I bet that fell hurt." I think I meant to write fall. Anyway, whatever. I put the quote down for witch doctor to capture, and then I wrote, "What? A priest is not a witch doctor. Doctors have exhausted all medical opinions, so they are offering something different," and then you mock them. There is no likable characters in this movie. I mean, other than the daughter, like, glad I wasn't eating lunch when she shot that split pea suit at him. She has 2 servants, yet she's downstairs ironing his clothes. I thought that was kind of funny. The backwards audio bit that you guys... yeah,
that actually bits of this.
Do what, Corny?
That was one of the more creepier bits of this for me.
Well, backwards audio, also known as backwards masking, is a very popular thing in the 60s and 70s once people learned how to record tape backwards.
And every rock and roll tape had one of those backwards messages,
there's that joke. There's a lot of, those bands from that time. If you played their music backwards, it would tell kids to do bad things, right? They even make...
Good Lord. the air conditioning in my car is so freaking cold I can see my breath.
Nice. Uh-oh. Means there's a demon in there.
Are you
That
wearing
must be in the back seat. I am.
I kind of wish I had your problem because the air conditioner in our car is dead. Anyway, it needs to be exercised. What was I saying? Oh, backwards audio. So there's a Beatles song, right? Number 7?
Number 9?
Number 9. Yeah. That shit gives me the willies. I can't listen to it. We did it in my recording class, and like I almost want to pee myself. You guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
Is it the White Album? I can't remember.
The number 9 Dream.
Beatles. Number 9. Number 9 backwards. Yeah. I am not going to play it because it freaks me out. What? Oh, I love the article. I love the I'm not playing you. Stop it. I love.
I feel comfortable. I feel very comfortable talking about this movie outside my church.
Yeah, good.
This makes me feel a little better.
Somebody wrote something
than in a house where the power's out.
Yeah, right. The Revolution number 9. Yeah, it just freaks me out. Should I play it?
Yes, I want to hear it.
Okay, here we go. Oh wait, you can't hear it on my computer. Damn it. Give me a sec.
1.
Liar. Okay, here we go. You're gonna hear. You're gonna hear yourselves double. Okay, here we go. You should be able to hear this. Okay, this is forwards. This is normal. Why is it coming through the speakers? What is happening? For some reason, my computer decided to play it through. All right, whatever. Give me a second. I don't know why the laptop I'm using here for Skype just decided, I'm gonna just use the external speakers instead of the internal speakers for reasons. Oh crap!
Whoa!
Sorry. Weird noise.
Are we watching Contact again?
Yeah, this kind of sounds like Contact, doesn't it? Oh.
They're all prime numbers.
Yeah. Number 9, Beatles. Okay, no, let's just don't make me. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight because of this.
Good. Now you know how I feel like whenever Children of the Corn is mentioned.
9, number 9, the 9, number 9, the 9.
Yeah, it's on the White Album.
Number 9, the 9, number 9, 9, number 9, 9, number 9.
It's just the song.
That's it?
9, number 9, the 9, number 9,
Huh.
the 9, number 9, the 9.
You guys can't hear that,
number
right?
9,
Oh, we
Yeah, I
hear
can
it.
hear it.
9, number 9, 9.
It just goes. It just keeps doing that, right? So, Beatles backwards, right? So, when you play it back, Revolution played backwards. When you play it backwards, song by the Beatles. What? No one cares. So when you play it backwards, it's take him home, take him out. Like, this is what happens when you play it backwards. Okay, I can't do it anymore. It just freaks me out. God. Like, what are the Beatles doing with that? Like, just...
I don't get it.
I didn't hear anything other than weird backward sounding stuff.
Well, you didn't hear them chanting?
Well, yeah, but...
Like all night long?
No, take him out. Oh, my Lord, take him
home.
out.
Yeah.
Take him home. And then... So here's the music. Let me turn that down because that's a little hot. Paul is dead. Children playing. Since then, His suicide was. I can't do it.
Do you think that though? Do you think that people have listened to that and interpreted what they wanted to say instead of actually what it?
Well, I mean,
was
very
saying?
possible. I mean, there's a reason why freaking Charles Manson went on a murdering spree because he listened to the Beatles, Helter Skelter, and thought they were talking to him. So, again, just the Beatles freak me out.
I mean, because you could listen to anything backward and probably come up with something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know if you listen to country backwards, you get stuff back. You know, you get your home back.
Yeah, you get your dog back and your girlfriend back and your car back. Anyway, speaking of creepy audio, you ready for some clips?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. I also, the last thing I wrote in my notes is, I did write Constantine would have punched that demon out a while ago. And then I wrote, I did not see that coming, meaning when the priest was like, when first the demon kills Max von Sydow. Holy crap, didn't see that coming. And then young priest gets really upset, starts punching the girl in the face, and then says, "Come into me, take my body." And then it does, and he throws him out the window and then down the stairs, killing himself, I guess, thus effectively preventing the demon from having a host. So I didn't see that coming. Anyway, here we go. This clip I captured simply for the fact that I don't understand why it's funny.
This damn thing, will you? It just doesn't make sense.
Why, it's perfectly plain. You're a teacher of the college. You don't want the building torn down. And
Come on, I can read, for Christ's
well,
sake.
what's wrong?
Well, why are they tearing the building down?
Shall we summon the writer? He's in Paris, I believe.
Hiding?
Why is that funny? What is that? What?
I don't know. I'm just. Maybe it sounds like I'm going to vomit. I'm not sure.
It was dumb. I didn't understand why that was funny. Oh, maybe he's in Paris hiding. Ha 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 ha. Why? What? I'm not like all of the extras got it. They knew that like they're in on the joke.
He didn't say hiding.
What did he say?
Oh, I think that was an F-bomb.
That was an F-bomb.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, do I need to go back and rooster tail that? Because
Yes,
I never
you
knew
do.
it.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, damn it.
That's why they laughed.
117. Okay. I never knew that. I never knew what he was saying. I thought he said he was hiding. Once again, Shawn plays the game of what did that guy say? He says the F-bomb there. Really?
You know, when Shawn played it the second time, I was like, maybe they didn't drop the F-bomb. And then when Sam was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Does he really say it? I'm gonna go.
This damn thing, will you? It just doesn't make sense.
Why, it's perfectly plain. You're a teacher of the college. You don't want the building torn down. And
Come on, I can read, for Christ's
well,
sake.
what's wrong?
Well, why are they tearing the building down?
Shall we summon the writer? He's in Paris, I believe.
Hiding?
Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Well, there it is. Never heard it. Seriously, I watched the movie and then pulled that clip and then listened to that clip 3 times before playing it for you guys and still had no clue that he was saying that.
Listen to it backwards.
So now I get why this. I kind of get why it's funny, but it's still dumb. All right, here we go. She is pissed. Here we go.
This is Mrs. McNeil. Operator, you have got to be kidding. I have been on this line for 20 minutes. Jesus Christ, can you believe this? He doesn't even call his daughter on her birthday, for Christ's sake.
Maybe the circuit is busy.
Oh, circuit's my ass. He doesn't give a shit.
Look, why don't you let me...
No, I've got it, Sharon. It's all right. Yes. No, operator, don't tell me there's no answer. It's the Hotel Excelsior in Rome. Would you try it again, please, and let it ring? Hello? Yes. No, operator, I've given you the number 4 times. What do you do, take an illiteracy test to get that job, for Christ's sakes? No, don't tell me to be calm, damn it!
How can you take an illiteracy test?
Very, very slowly?
Yeah, I guess. Huh. Okay. Sorry, I just figured something out while we were I was playing that clip. That weird noise is in my microphone for some reason. Weird. Because I can see it in my my recording. All right, whatever. Sorry. I'll get it fixed, I promise. More douchebag director. I took 2 clips and mashed them together, but yeah, douchebag director.
Tell me, was it public relations you did for the Gestapo or community relations?
Swiss.
Yes, of course. And you never went bowling with Goebbels either, I suppose, eh? Nazi bastard. Hunting hand. Bloody damn butchering Nazi pig.
What a douche. I'm kind of glad.
Actually, that's imagine what I sound. That's what I imagine when Chad's drunk. That's what he sounds like.
Oh, nice. Here
God
we go.
bless his soul.
Here's a little weed reference.
You keep any drugs in your house?
No. Of course not. Nothing like that.
Are you sure?
Well, of course I'm sure. I'll tell you. Christ, I don't even smoke grass.
Not even smoke grass.
I actually thought she said crack.
I thought she said crack too.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big step. I don't even smoke crack. Oh, well, everybody does that in the 70s.
Grass and crack, you know.
It was a different time.
Yeah, it was, really. Max Weinsteidel saying some cool stuff.
It was the 70s.
I'm very tired. No. I'd like you to go quickly across to the residence, Damien, and gather up a cassock for myself. 2 surplices, a purple stole, and some holy water. And your copy of the Roman ritual, the large one. I believe we should begin.
Do you want to hear the background of the case first, Father?
Why?
Why? I like that. Why? It doesn't matter. It kind of sounds like my cat in the background, should be told. And of course, you know I had to do this.
The power of Christ compels you!
There you go. So,
I feel like a Power Ranger.
Oh. Thank you. You mean,
Oh, I feel like a Power Ranger!
There you go. How was that?
In the good, yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, here we go.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
Time to move this puppy along. All right, trivia. Oh, tropes. Also, the last trope I wrote down was a Popeye moment. The Ouija board investigating the dark in the Popeye moment. She's like, "Are you guys done?" "Nope." "Is my daughter gonna die?" "No, she's not." And he runs back upstairs and it saves the day. So good job. Trivia. The first horror film to be nominated for Best Picture Academy Award. The 4 films that would follow would be Jaws, Silence of the Lambs, The Sixth Sense, and Black Swan. I did not know Black Swan was considered horror.
Yeah, have you seen it?
Oh, yeah, dude.
No.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was horror.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I've not seen it. I kind of don't want to.
Psychological horror, yeah.
Well,
I guess
because
you could say.
I don't want to see it because of that now.
Yeah. A few psychological horrors.
Which is funny because when I was Googling the answer to this question, because I couldn't remember.
You'll go blind.
Jaws. I remember Jaws, Silence of the Lambs, The Sixth Sense. I couldn't remember I couldn't remember The Sixth Sense, but I remembered Black Swan. I was trying to, so I Googled that list, and somehow Jurassic Park got put on there, and I was like, Jurassic Park is considered horror. And then the funny thing was that the picture they used for the article was from the 3rd movie when Grant is surrounded by velociraptors and he's talking to them. Due to death threats against Linda Blair from religious zealots who believed the film glorified Satan, Warner Brothers had bodyguards protecting her for 6 months after the film's release.
So is that like the Gary Busey guy from last week's movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jake
Busey.
Yeah, Jack
Busey.
Yeah.
Jake Busey.
Yeah,
Thank you.
In an interview, Jason Miller stated that he had a major verbal confrontation. Come back. There you go. Major verbal confrontation with William Friedkin, the director, after the director fired a gun near his ear to get an authentic reaction from him. He told Friedkin that he, as an actor, and he did not need a gun to act surprised or startled. So,
you know, I want to take a sidetrack here.
Please.
So we all had a certain or knew a certain assistant dean of music, that one time I walked in his office and he literally pulled a starter pistol out of his desk drawer and fired it. And I have never been more frightened in my life. I thought he really had shot something.
Why did he do that?
He said it was for a percussion, to use as percussion in some piece.
Well, kiss my black ass.
Right,
Yeah.
I would probably peed myself, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure I had a little poop. And a couple streaks after that one.
Nice. In the documentary
Some new Disney
included...
character, a little poop.
In the documentary that included on the 25th anniversary edition, several actors revealed in many shots that it was not necessary to quote-unquote act, as was captured on film, were genuine reactions. For example, the mom mentions that her scream and facial reaction after being slapped by Reagan were due to being pulled too hard by the harness. I mentioned that earlier. Linda Blair's screaming was a reaction to being bounced around on her bed. William O'Malley recalled that William freaking slapped him prior to shooting, and this caused his hand to tremble while blessing Father Karras. Jeez. That director sounds like an asshole. This one's interesting. Lalo Schifrin's score was rejected. He also did the Amity Horrorville one, the 1979 one. The director said that he had heard the music of Tangerine Dream, which is a person, who would later score his film Sorcerer, and said that he would have them scored this film, and it would have that person score this film. This is worded really poorly. Friedkin, the director, actually hated the music so much that he yelled for the orchestra to stop playing, removed the reels that had been recording the music from the sound desk, and promptly threw the reels into the street in front of Lalo and his wife.
Wow.
What a horrible
Good
person.
Lord.
What a giant douche.
I know, right? And the bag that it lives in. So, damn it. There we go. That's it. That's all the trivia I wrote down. And other terrifying things. Soundtrack grade. I kind of wanted to hear the theme more. Like, no, not like where they do it in Halloween where they use the theme every 3 seconds.
Oh,
but I could have used a little more of it.
You heard it, what, twice in this movie?
I think literally twice. The beginning and then the cool scene when he gets out of the taxi cab.
Yeah.
That becomes the poster of the movie, which is a really cool shot. I mean, a really cool shot. You don't get shots like that. Iconic shites. You don't get iconic.
I have an iconic shite.
Yeah, you had one when the doctor, what's his name, shot that gun off in your office. So there you go. What did we learn? The devil is bad. That's what we learned.
Who's bad?
Okay.
Who's bad?
Hold on. My computer's not working. What is happening?
Oh.
Nothing is working tonight, right? My gosh.
The devil.
Yep, Chad has possessed our podcast with his demonic soul.
Oh my gosh, Sam, your group me request of should you drive your car to the church and do a telecast just came through.
Oh, you think I should do that?
Yeah, that's a good idea, Sam.
Okay, I might do that. Maybe it'll work.
Seriously, my phone just lit up and it says you just sent it. My gosh.
Well, I will just say I just got like 10 new messages from you guys on there.
Oh my gosh.
So,
including a Ronald McDonald who is crying fries.
Oh no, he's vomiting.
He's vomiting fries. Okay, great.
That's the exorcism of Ronald McDonald.
Did I play?
The devil.
There we go. In case I did.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Here we go. I'm not gonna sleep tonight. I'm just gonna say all the weird stuff we've got going on tonight. I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
Sam's in the closet.
Yeah, battery about dead. Is that actually happening now, Sam?
That is. I just said that.
Okay.
Yes. So, yeah.
We're nearly done. Exorcism and or possession movies are our top 3. So, Sam, I'm actually gonna let you go first in case your phone dies.
Yeah, sure. I've got an honorable mention to The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Has anybody seen that one?
I have. It's in my list.
That is a freaky movie. That that scared me more than this movie.
Corny and Andrew, do either one of you seen that?
Have not. No.
There's a scene in the movie. There's a scene in the movie when the girl
in the dorm room.
Yeah, Emily Rose. Yeah, dude.
Oh God.
Freaking giving me chills right now.
God.
She's like having issues, right? And the boyfriend's trying to be a good boyfriend, and he looks out the window, and in the distance, the cloud formation kind of turns into the sign of the devil, and he turns around, and she is looking at him, and she's contorted, and my God, it's one of the freakiest things I've ever seen on film.
Yeah, I'm literally getting chills.
Yeah,
thinking about
I
that
am
right
too,
now.
and I need to go watch like the Care Bears or something right now. Like, I am.
All right, but that was my honorable mention. I've got Constantine as number 3.
Okay,
that's one of our movies.
Yep.
I've got Fallen at number 2 with Denzel Washington.
Denzel, yeah.
And
speaking of cats, halfway in, halfway out.
Yeah, was it John Goodman was in that one as well?
Uh-huh.
I think, yep. Hey, look at me. And my number 1 demonic possession exorcism movie, Ghostbusters.
Nice. Wait.
Yeah.
Who gets possessed? Oh, yeah, freaking Keymaster Gatekeeper chick, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Okay, Andrew.
Thank you.
All right, I have an honorable mention of Daffy Duck's Quackbusters.
My gosh, I remember that cartoon.
Yeah.
How about this for a bit of trivia for that cartoon? This is something that you only remember because of the thing that you remember. But in that movie, he's investigating the things happening, right? And he does the typical like detective thing where he takes a lamp and sticks it in the guy's face. And he says, quote, "Where were you the night of April 16th? Corny.
Well, it was your birthday.
There you go. So I was like, hey, that's my birthday. Anyway, sorry. Continue,
All right,
please.
Number 3, I had Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
All
Number
right.
2, I have The Shining.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Oh yeah.
Never
and
seen
then number 1, Beetlejuice.
I've never seen The Shining, so.
Yeah. You've never seen Beetlejuice?
No, I've seen Beetlejuice.
Oh,
Gosh, I
that's
own
two.
that on
Oh.
DVD.
Oh.
Yeah, The Shining is worth a watch. It's very good.
Yeah, and if you're a real big fan or even are confused by the movie, the Room 237 documentary on Netflix is amazing to watch.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's about the movie. Yep. I would recommend it. That's one of those where it's kind of a sin if you're a cinephile
What'd you call me?
to miss it.
No, you're right. There's again, I have a handful of my list of shame, and that's on it. Corny?
This is gonna be tough because I haven't seen a lot of these types of movies, so I'm
That's
gonna
fair.
go with my number 3 of Child's Play.
Okay, possessed toy.
Kill Little Doll with the mom from Seventh Heaven. Let's see, and my number 2, I hope will work. Sorry, actually, I know it would work. Sorry, Ghost. With the
All
one
right,
of the
sure.
weirdest sets of things going on with Patrick Swayze
Oh yeah.
and Whoopi Goldberg. God rest her soul and her career. And
All right, Ross.
lastly, I think I will take one of Sam's and go with Ghostbusters.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. My turn. Number 3 is Exorcism of Emily Rose. Just freaked me the hell out. Just can't do it. Number 2, Constantine. Number 1, The Evil Dead.
Was it that his hand gets possessed?
Well, not only does his hand...
No.
Well, technically Evil Dead 2, yeah. His hand gets possessed and he chops it off. But it's also his girlfriend gets possessed and then he has to kill her. And then the old lady turns into the big weird thing, and then the trees are kind of possessed, and it's a great film. Go watch it right now. I'd rather watch that than this again. Actually, I just need to get the image of Emily Rose out of my brain. Jesus.
Yeah. It was the way she's looking at him.
Yeah, I need to stop thinking about it. Seriously,
Oh,
like
God,
it's
yeah.
freaking me out. It just really is. All right.
How about no?
Yeah, just I seriously, I'm gonna go like watch some Sports Center or something just to. Get my brain right.
That's what I had to do after this movie. I had to go watch Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I actually did. I didn't do that. I did go and watch some ESPN after I watched this because I needed something, a little happier in my life. Cool. That's gonna do it for that part. Out of 10, right? Because there was no email this week, which is fine. So we'll do out of 10 for this movie, and I have things to type here. Give me a sec. Excuse me. Out of 10, Sam. I'm gonna let you go first in case your phone dies.
I'm gonna give this a good solid 7. 7 out of 10. It's worth seeing at least once in your life.
All right. Andrew.
I think it wasn't without flaw, but for a horror film, I think it was done well, and for the time period, I think it was done well. So I'm going to go. We'll go a little higher. I'm going to go 8.1.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay. Corny.
I was unsure how I felt about this movie. Again, I still feel like it's a movie that you need to go see. So I too will give it a fairly high rating of a 7.9.
Wow. Okay. Well,
wow.
Yeah, that's pretty high for the guy who hates horror films. I think it's a really, really good movie. And again, I get why it was nominated for stuff. Editing is a little weird for me, but it's just that style of editing back then where it's just these super quick cuts between things happening. The director pissed me off, like the movie director and then the actor director in the movie. Just being a douche to your crew and your cast just sounds awful. So, but not to take away anything from the performances, which by the way, also in the trivia, the girl was nominated for an Oscar, but once the committee learned, once the what's it called, the the Oscar committee, learned, the Academy, dang, that's the word, gosh, why was that so hard, learned that they that she didn't voice all of the demon stuff, that they took it from her. They would basically said, hey, you can't win the nomination. It was Mercedes something, the woman.
Lewis.
Yeah, no, that's a football player.
It is actually.
Yeah, it is.
Sam knows that for.
He was a tight end for a while.
Yeah, he is.
You.
What?
Anyway, so that's gonna do it. Oh, so I guess I need to give my score. But all that being said, it's a really good film. I'm just gonna give it a 6.5. It's really worth watching, but yeah, there you go. That's all I'm gonna say.
Cool.
Jeez. Okay, guys, you guys are killing me here.
What's wrong?
My phone's blown up between you guys sending weird attachments and stuff. So that's gonna do it.
I'm not involved.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Corny, because you don't want to be. So that's it. So that's gonna do it. So here is what's gonna happen going forward. So you, the listener, I'm kidding.
You're right.
Yeah.
Voted on our movies for October, and apparently our website doesn't work anymore. What?
Really?
Okay, there it goes. That was weird. Gosh, tonight. So you have voted, and the results are.
I'm sure there probably was a revolt.
So obviously, The Exorcist
Hell no,
was.
we won't vote. Hell no, we won't vote.
The Exorcist was one of them. So our other movies that have won the vote would also be Jaws, Event Horizon, and there is a tie between The Babadook and Tremors. So, how you guys? Maybe we'll just wait and see. Maybe we'll put that last in the month, and maybe we'll get some more votes. But right now, I will say with confirmation that we will be doing Jaws next week.
Yay!
Spielberg's Jaws. So the movie that prevented people from going in the ocean for about a year.
Pretty much, I think people still avoid the ocean because of that movie.
I'm kind of one of those people. So
yeah, you're weird.
Hey, the only way I'm going to get bit by a shark is if he's coming into my kitchen, because I'm not going into his.
Maybe he gets develops a taste for redheads.
He develops a taste, yeah, and then he creates some kind of
a breathing apparatus for the air.
Too spicy.
Out of plankton, and then you didn't see that. I'm a 300-pound tuna. You're like a 115-pound lion. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this show. So Jaws, tune in for next week. It's gonna be fantastic. This was a good show. I'm a little freaked out, and I don't want to watch scary movies ever again. Please leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. You guys have no idea how much that makes our lives better by doing so. Visit our website, cheapseatreviews.com. Vote on our page. If the vote numbers change before we do the movie, then we'll do it. We'll change it. But right now, Jaws is clearly in the lead. Follow us on Twitter at CheapSeatCast. Please send us your emails to cheapseatreviews@gmail.com. We would love to hear you say things to us.
Something, yeah.
So anyway, I guess this is gonna do it. This was fun. I'm glad I watched the movie, and I never want to watch it again. Just throwing it out there is all I'm gonna say. Oh crap! What is happening? If you guys really wanted to F with me tonight would have been a night to log into to my script and start changing words. I probably would have just quit the show. It's not rage quit. That's like what, fear quit? I don't know.
Yeah.
You just would have heard me screaming like a little girl and run into the other room.
Yeah. Hey, Shawn, look out your window real quick.
Yeah. I'm on the second floor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Down here on the deck.
I know you're just being funny, but I really don't even want to look at the window right now. Like on the off chance that there's just something, like a moth or something, would just freak me out.
There's not too many bugs out here tonight.
On behalf of Andrew, Corny, Shawn, Sam, Mr. Shawn, saying thank you for listening. Good night, and holy cow.
The power of podcast compels you.